Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I am Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price. Kyle's checking in from, are you down south again?
Richmond, Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. Okay, went west a little bit. I like it.
My new office I acquired in the last 2 months here, so I'm out here visiting for the first time.
We're at in, I'm not familiar with the city, so how close are you to, Indianapolis or something like that?
So about 45 minutes. It's about 45 minutes east of Indianapolis, and it's about 45 minutes west of Dayton. So it's in between both.
You're in the middle. Okay, yeah. All right, not bad. Anything fun to do there? Your first time there, obviously, but
absolutely not. There is a Uranus fudge place I'm going to go to tomorrow.
Okay, I'm into that.
To get some obviously merchandise, but see if they actually have good fudge that's well packed. So I'll see how that goes. But that's
with a name like Uranus, they better have some good fudge coming out of it.
It's their only claim to fame right now. So
that's kind of a bummer.
Right.
All right. Well, we're here. This is going to be a quick-ish episode. As you can tell, Kyle's still battling his sickness from last week. He's traveling. We're playing a dangerous game. We're going to see how long until he passes out from his NyQuil.
Yeah.
And I'm healthy. I'm feeling good. However, my voice is a little worn. I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. I can tell that my voice is a little raspy and I don't know, a little extra phlegmy, I guess. So we decided we'd kind of make this one a quicker episode. We'll only do an hour just so we're not straining ourselves. I know talking on a podcast isn't exactly hard work, but doing it for 2 hours straight can be a little stressful on the old voice and body a little bit. So we're going to do a quick one again. Not a whole lot to go over. For me, especially for the weekend, I didn't do shit. I got home from work Friday, had to work first full week back in the new year, and then we stayed home for the weekend pretty much. We cleaned up, got some shit done around the house. We were supposed to have my niece come spend the night. That got canceled because she had a birthday party to go to. So we laid low. We just watched some movies, hung out, cleaned, just did shit like that. And then that's it. Honestly, I've done nothing since last Wednesday. Just work, come home, cook, grocery shop, usual adult shit, nothing too fun. And now we're dealing with Mother Nature kicking our ass right now with the good snowstorm. Did have our septic unit cleaned the other day, first time, because we are first-time septic owners, and we're following. The guy recommended every 2 years to have them come out and clean it. So we were just following up from that from when the previous owners did theirs last. And it was good. Everything's cool. It was a cool little thing to watch them drag a hose all the way down and just pump out feces and stuff like that. Pee pee poo poo was very exciting for an immature person like myself.
Filled all the way?
No. We have a really big one. So he even asked, he's like, how many people live here? And we were 2.5 technically, because we have a daughter, a 2-year-old. And he's like, you're fine. He's like, unless you're hosting parties every weekend. He's like, yeah, you go every 2 years to have it cleaned. We were like, all right, cool. So yeah, we were good. But yeah, that was pretty much the most exciting part of my week, was having the septic people come. And the annoying thing was that they came on Monday, and apparently, I don't know what it is with if they've had an accident in the past or whatever the fuck, but they were adamant to Tara, because Tara set it all up. Every time she'd call to verify the appointment, they're like, make sure your driveway has no snow, no ice, nothing. So of course, beautiful weather for the weekend for the most part. All the snow had melted. It was really nice. And then fucking Sunday, we get hit with a snowstorm. And I'm like, God damn it. So I'm looking out the window. I see the snow. And I'm like, all right, it stopped snowing. The radar looks clear. I'm going to go out there with my leaf blower. The snow looked pretty dusty. So I know we hadn't driven on it. Nothing's touched it. So I'm like, I'm going to go see if I can just blow the snow off the driveway. Let's see if that works. I step outside and this is a fucking sheet of ice. Everything is just ice. So I had to go to the store, buy rock salt. I had to fucking salt everything to make sure that they could get there on Monday. And then, of course, when they showed up on Monday, it was another pretty warm day, so it all would have been fucking melted anyway, but I didn't know that. So that was pretty much the fun that I had this weekend. In between football games, I ran to Drug Mart, bought 3 bags of rock salt, and salted my driveway and steps so they could empty shit and pee out of my septic tank in the backyard. And I feel bad for the guy.
At least it's done now, right?
Yeah, it's all taken care of. It's all good. I feel bad for the dude because he was working by himself, and he comes to the front door, and I'm like, it's in the back. I'm like, I can show you where it's at. And he's like, you don't have to. And I'm thinking in my head, my yard's kind of deceiving from the front of the house. I'm like, I'll go back there because my septic unit's all the way down the hill. So I had to go back there and show him. And he came in and like when we paid and signed all the paperwork, he's like, oh my God. He's like, I'm fucking exhausted. That hill's no joke. I'm like, yeah, man, tried to warn you. It's kind of sucks to go up and down that thing.
So what they did is run a long tube from the truck all the way back there?
Yeah, they just had a huge, like, looked like a cement truck essentially, but it wasn't rotating, but just a huge fucking, like a gasoline truck or whatever. And ran a hose all the way down, put it in there, sucked it all out, and then fucking rolled it back up.
How long did it take to do?
Honestly, maybe like an hour he was here.
Oh,
no, it wasn't bad at all. He also he replaced the filter, he tested it, like did a bunch of other shit too. So yeah, give or take like an hour total. It wasn't bad at all. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, life's been pretty boring. We've just been hanging out at home, watching movies, catching up on some shows. 1,000 Pound Sisters started back up. That's one of my guilty pleasure shows. I absolutely love that show. So we're excited to see that. Caught up, trying to catch up on movies and stuff that have come out over the last few months or whatever. And that's pretty much it. And football all weekend. There were three days of football, evenings of football. And you know me, I watched every second of every game. I'm a psychopath. I love
it. Good football games too.
Really good games, except for Monday night. Steelers suck.
Yeah. I mean, that game got away from them pretty quickly, which is crazy. But no, I mean,
what's up with you? Anything?
My weekend was low key to a point. I mean, we just started feeling better. I started feeling a little better. And now I'm like back in the other end of it. But we went to a buddy's house and he had some people over. We played LCR for a while, which was fun. They play the rules there that you have to dot out in order to win the game. So we had 3 games in a row where we couldn't dot out. Like it got down to the last person and it centered. So the money stayed in the middle and we put more money back in and ran it back again. So we got to like 3 stacks in one game of everyone buying in. I think it was like $50 some. That's the winner took home after that game. That was fun. And then Monday we had made plans weeks prior that I forgot about, that we committed to going to bingo down the street from our house at a VFW. They do Mondays and Wednesdays, open to the public, come in, bingo. I've played bingo before, right? Like, but not like in a serious setting. So
and they show up like with their own stampers and shit. Those people are crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So we show up and you have 2 packages. You can buy the computer package, which gives you like a little digital computer that like reads all the numbers out and kind of plays bingo for you. Or you can do the paper one. And I'd rather do the paper one where I'm actually doing something. It's kind of cool. So so we get the paper, we sit down. It was me, Mike, Colleen, and Jess, and 2 of Colleen's friends. And then we start going, none of the rules, right? All these different games you play. You got L-shaped, you got picture frame, you've got the hardware 6-pack, you've got postage stamp, like all these different ones. I have no idea. So
sorry to interrupt. You can get that in any round, or they specifically tell you what
so you have like a stack of like paper. They play like 17 games, right? 17 games throughout the entire night.
You have to look at each paper every time.
So you have it in front of you. So you have like these different ones in front of you. So one game would be like, okay, so we're gonna play normal bingo, right? So when that game's done, you rip the page off and you throw it away, and then you have a whole fresh new thing of numbers, and you play a different game. So it varies.
Gotcha.
So the one game me and Colleen were playing, and it had to be, you had the corners were free and you had to have both sides down the sides, right? So you got 4 corners free, and then you had to like get 3 numbers in between those to get bingo. You had to hit both of them. And I didn't hear, and neither did she, that you had to get both of them. So I get the one side, I'm like, oh, bingo, right? And of course, like every old person in the world like stares at you. And I'm like, bingo, they come over, so they read a number off the middle of your number, and then they verify it, right? So it goes on a big TV in front of everybody, and it pops up that's not verified. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. So then Colleen calls bingo. Like 20 minutes, 5 minutes later in the same game, the person comes back, reads it, and it says not verified. And now these old people are like daggers, like staring at us about it. Ended up, we didn't win anything that night for bingo wise, but so it was just intimidating. It was like overwhelming, like stimulus, like not knowing what to do. But while you're playing these games, they walk around with cardboard, like basically cardboard crack, but it's like bingo version. So you can win instant money like you can at the bar. But if you rip like a hold button, like you hold it and keep it to the side, because every so often they'll read a barcode off. And if your number that you held was called, you could win like 50, 100. Some woman that night won $500 and $50. and like an additional like $60 for a bingo game that she won. And these are like $1 a ticket, right? That she pulled. Her number just happened to be called, and she won that much money. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. So now we know how to play it. I think we might go back maybe in a week or two and just try it and see how it is. A little more less stressful, but
yeah, give it a week or two. Let some of the old ladies that were mad at you guys die off, and then when you go back, it'll be
like I'm like, I don't want to walk outside. I'm gonna get jumped by some.
It'll be a fresh batch of blue hairs. You'll be fine.
It was bad, and of course, people had their troll dolls and all their good luck charms and everything. And
dude, I know people that do bingo. Like it's a serious community.
It's crazy, but no, that was a decent time. So yeah, that was pretty much our weekend right there. So we can get into the sporty stuff now.
Really quick, George, can you hop on for 1 second if you're free? I have a little favor to ask of you, just because I cannot find something. If you have the time to do it, if you can't, no worries. If you're there, or are you? He could be peeing. He is on that blood pressure medication. He could be taking a leak or pooping. I don't know. But either way. We'll see if we're moving around. So George is live.
What?
There he is.
Sorry, just racing back from letting the dog in. What's
is that what you call it? You have to take a leak.
Not me, the dog.
If you could do me one small favor, if you have the chance, if you can't, don't worry about it. I can't find the paper that I wrote down our picks last week from. So I was going to ask if you could go back on like Facebook or whatever and listen to from like, I don't know, the last 20 minutes or whatever, and just list off who we all picked, and I can jot it down just because I want to make sure we have our picks in order.
Okay. I will do my best.
If you can. If you can't, no worries. We'll do it another time. It's not like we're going anywhere, but I just wanted to keep a tally on the actual picks, and I thought I wrote it down in my normal notebook, but I can't find the page. So I was right before the show started. I was trying to catch up, but I didn't have time.
Yeah, I got the Facebook open now, so I will go check it out real quick.
One thing I like to do is on the show, I pick differently than I actually truly believe, just for shits and giggles. So in my group text, I got every game right except for the Packers. I picked the Packers to beat the Bears. They obviously lost at the end. Every other game I got right. So I was like, shit, I wonder if I picked the same teams on the show, and I really didn't remember. So you never know. Sometimes I'm a wild card on this show, and I like to go rogue.
The Packers on the show too. I remember that part of it.
I figured that one. I truly did believe the Packers could win that game.
I was going to say, I think the one I foobarred was the Bills, Jags.
They truly tried to win that game. The other team was just better.
Yep. Like my group text, I told everybody we all do our picks, and I was like, I took the, what was the first game of the weekend? I don't even remember off the top of my head now. Oh, the Rams-Panthers. I took the Rams. I took the Packers. Then on Sunday, I took the Bills. I took the Patriots. I took the Niners. And I took the Texans. So again, all but the Packers, I almost had a clean sweep. So that was pretty exciting. But again, could be very different on what I said on the show. I don't remember what I actually said.
Right.
So we'll find out. But yeah, if you could do that for me, George, I would really appreciate it, just so I could make sure we have our picks
I'm on it.
in order.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, George. All right. Like I said, though, there was your quick rundown of the games that happened over the weekend. Really good games. There's your current picks. We'll go over those later. But the Rams beat the Panthers in a pretty tight game. That game was actually entertaining. Pretty much every game was entertaining. The Rams win 34-31. The Eagles lose to the Niners 23-19. Philly gets eliminated round one, the defending champions, which means we will have a brand new champion.
Did you see that video of the kid they interviewed after the Eagles game?
Yeah, he's like, I hope. I forgot their offensive coordinator's name, who they did fire, but he's like,
I hope he's flipping burgers.
He should go flip burgers at McDonald's, and they're like, why do you say that? And he's like, because he's a burger flipper. He goes, one half they're cooking, they're grilling, everything's going well, and he goes, in the second half it's all raw, it's all garbage. And it was a pretty funny interview. He's like, this was my Christmas present. He's like, this was horrible. And they're like, do you wish you got coal instead? He's like, yeah, this is awful.
Yeah, that was funny. That kid was.
I want AJ Brown to pack his bags and get out of town, and then I want whatever the offensive coordinator is, who they did fire.
That was a big drop. That was a big drop by AJ. They didn't even go back to him anymore.
No, it was big. And then he's on the sideline, like getting into fights with Nick Sirianni, and then Tom Brady's like trying to downplay it. Brady's like, "Oh, they have a great relationship," and like they're fucking getting ready to fight on the sideline. Like, I don't think that's a good relationship, dude. But what do I know? But yeah, so Rams win. Niners win. Just going from the left. Obviously, this is not in order from how the actual games play.
Jump back real quick, but the A for effort for the Panthers. I did not think that they would keep it that close. I did not think that they'd keep it close. I mean, that play that well, but I don't know what happened to Bryce Young, man. Like, did he just finally wake up this year and be like, I guess I'm a quarterback and just start playing? Like, it doesn't make sense to me that everything kind of clicked this year, you know?
I mean, so my thing with Bryce Young is he was the number 1 overall pick, all the talent in the world. His issue is obviously just his height. They had to go through a couple coaches, a couple offensive coordinators, some things like that. Dave Canales is in year 2 as a head coach. He was an offensive guy when he was with Tampa. So he is.
What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's going on, Dave? I don't have comments on. Sorry about that. What's up, Dave? We're going to be talking about that. Don't you worry. We're just doing a recap of the games really quick. But yeah, no, Bryce Young's, he had talent. He was just really short, which was obviously a huge disadvantage in the NFL. It's rare that short quarterbacks succeed. So he was a guy who I went into automatically kind of like, I'm not even going to think about this guy because, he's short. That's just, the odds are against him. But after a couple of years with the same head coach, some decent first-round picks, they drafted some offensive linemen. They got him a couple weapons and a good running game. Rico Dowdle was a good pickup that they got at running back with Chuba Hubbard, and just put some good pieces around him, and he was able to play well, and their defense is good. Another first-round pick, J.C. Horn, some good defensive linemen. So it's just a really good job of team building, truly, for Carolina. I think it has more to do with them as a whole than it does for just Bryce Young, but obviously Bryce Young has played much better. But he still also makes some bad mistakes that you would see, from when he was a rookie, where you're like, this guy might be a bust. So he still does that from time to time, but at the same time, he has made leaps and bounds progress. So, kudos to him.
I didn't think they'd keep it that close, but they showed up pretty well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they were like a 500 team basically, and they snuck into the playoffs by default. So it was a good season, but again, they're like a 500 team, so it's not like they went like 12-5 or something like that. Then it'd be like, wow, actually they did really well. But no, good for them. I'm happy they made it, not Baker. My stance on that. The more Baker can lose, the better. It's just funny to me. But we'll see if that can continue into next year. The Buccaneers fired their offensive coordinator a couple of weeks ago, so they're going to be getting a new offensive coordinator. Surprisingly enough, Mike McDaniel is down there interviewing for that job today, the offensive coordinator position in Tampa, or tomorrow he's going to, but I know he is interviewing. But anyway, yeah, Panthers lose to the Rams 34-31. We're staying in the NFC. We'll stay to the left here. Niners win 23-19 in a very fun game, and the Bears win at the end against the Packers 31-27. All 3 games, fantastic. As you can see, 1-score games down to the wire. Then we get to the AFC. Patriots, Chargers, never even close. Justin Herbert, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He looked like Johnny Manziel out there. There are people that are complaining because he does have one of the worst offensive lines in football. Not his fault. Obviously, they're without Joe Alt. He got hurt, missed the whole season. They're without Rashawn Slater, missed most of the season-ending injuries. Those are 2 of the best tackles in football, and they were without them all season for the most part. And that's a huge blow. So their offensive line, if you look at the PFF rankings for each of those players, they were terrible, all of the offensive linemen for the Chargers. But Chargers overcame. They have a really good defense. They made the playoffs. Justin Herbert looked decent in the regular season. And then for whatever reason, they went to New England, and he forgot his talent in Los Angeles because they got their asses kicked. But that does go into, I think I mentioned it on the show, that stat about teams that play in domes traveling to sub 40-degree temperatures were like 1-14 in playoff games or something like that. So not a good thing for dome teams to have to travel. However, the Texans are a little bit of an anomaly because the weather wasn't that bad in Pittsburgh on Monday night. So the Texans are a dome team. Texans had to go to Pittsburgh, but what temperature was like 45 degrees. It was actually pretty decent and mild there. And they were able to beat the Steelers mostly in the fourth quarter. It was
an elite defense, man. That defense
it's good as fuck. And it's funny because they run the same system that like Jim Schwartz runs. So it's similar defense to the Browns. They just have some better players utilizing it, and injuries too. Don't get me wrong. The Browns had a lot of injuries this year. When you're missing Martin Emerson from day one, that was a huge blow. No JOK, that's a big blow. Yeah, missing Malik Collins got hurt in the middle of the season. A lot of injuries on the defensive side for the Browns. But either way, yeah, Texans great defense. I think it was 7-6 Houston in the fourth quarter, and I'm not gonna lie, I was getting kind of nervous because I'm like, I really want the Steelers to lose because I hate them first and foremost. And I was like, but they always pull out these fucking bullshit games. CJ Stroud was just, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking with those fumbles. Like he looked like he had never played football before a couple of times.
Two of them weren't really his fault. I think two of them were snapped before he even had a chance to even get his hands on them. But the other three were his fault, I think.
Well, no, what happened was he did fumble the snap because they were bad snaps, but then he recovered and then he tried to do something stupid and then he fumbled. Yeah. So he recovered the fumble or the snaps. It was just he tried to make some stupid play and got the ball knocked out of his hand. And I mean, the one time I think he went to throw it and it hit off his teammate. Or no, that was the Oregon game. Sorry, completely different game. It was the flea flicker. That's what I was thinking of. They did a flea flicker and it took so fucking long to develop that by the time he went to throw the ball, it got knocked out of his hand. He fumbled. And then on the other play, same thing. Ball just got knocked out of his hand because he was kind of panicking from a fumble, and the Steelers picked it up. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me! They're going to win this game. The Steelers are going to somehow last second field goal. They're going to eliminate the Texans, even though they played like dog shit. And then Aaron Rodgers threw a pick six. There was a scoop and score. 2 defensive touchdowns later. It was ugly. It's very, very possible that Aaron Rodgers' last career pass was a pick six.
And he put that pussy-ass attempt as a tackle on the sideline, which is hilarious.
And then he quit. He let Mason Rudolph come in for the rest of the game. He didn't even want to take another snap. So, I mean, that to me, I get it. The game was completely out of reach. There was only 3 minutes left. But you're quitting on your team. It's the fucking playoffs. It's not a regular season game. Had this been a game in November and you're like, I'm not going back out there. It's 30-6. I get it. But it's the playoffs, dude. You should probably go down with the ship. But that's Aaron Rodgers for you. He's a me-first guy.
He is, unfortunately. But no, I remember seeing that score on Monday. I'm like, well, this is closer than I thought it would be. And then I get home and we had some stuff to get done. We had to get the dogs fed. I had to get stuff situated for work the next day. And then I turned the game out. I'm like, where the fuck did these scores come from?
Yeah, dude. I don't get it. And then, of course, the Bills beat the Jaguars 27-24. That game was fantastic. Huge for the Browns. That loss puts the Browns' official draft picks at 6 and 24. So thank you, Jacksonville, for having a very good overachieving year to cost our draft pick to go a little further back. But also thank you for losing in the first round, so it didn't go too far back. So we really appreciate that. Now we can all go back to not giving a single fuck about Jacksonville because we no longer have their pick. So I don't have to root against them every week like I used to. I still will because my buddy's son is a fan of theirs, so I will root against them for that. But for draft pick purposes, you're clear, Jacksonville. So that is your playoff win update right there for the first round, wild card round. That loss for Pittsburgh, of course, the breaking news that happened on last night was Mike Tomlin has agreed to step down from his role as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers after 19 seasons. So the AFC North has one remaining head coach that did not get fired or resign, and that is Zach Taylor of the Cincinnati Bengals. And does Zach Taylor deserve to be employed? No. But are the Bengals so cheap that they don't want to pay a coach that they fired? Yes. That's the only reason Zach Taylor is still employed is because they would have to pay him. And they don't want to pay 2 coaches because they're cheap. They're too cheap to pay 1, let alone 2. So that's, in my opinion, that's why Zach Taylor's still employed.
I thought for sure he was a goner. I really do. I'm surprised he's the last man standing in the AFC North, which is crazy.
Well, it's funny because speaking of Dave, when we were with Redline, when we did the Super Bowl special it was the day that the Rams played the Bengals in the Super Bowl, and we did the Super Bowl show with them. And Angel from, I forgot his show, he was the Eagles fan, but Angel was on there, and I said right then, if Zach Taylor didn't get to the Super Bowl, I think Zach Taylor would have been fired. And he was like, you're crazy, Zach Taylor wasn't going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. He's not really that great of a coach. They've really underachieved. And then here we are a couple years later, and all Bengals fans are like, how the fuck is Zach Taylor still employed? They hate him. They want him fired. So I was right, not to toot my own horn, but had he not gone to the Super Bowl, he would have been unemployed a long time ago. But instead, he went to the Super Bowl, and they gave him a contract extension, and they've not made the playoffs since. So, Or maybe they made it once and got eliminated, but whatever. But they've had little to no success since their Super Bowl run. So I was right. But, yeah, Mike Tomlin is out. The AFC North is it's getting a full makeover facelift with new head coach in Baltimore, new head coach in Pittsburgh, and new head coach in Cleveland, which that one's not the surprising one, of course. So far, we're still on Matt LaFleur watch out in Green Bay. I don't think he's going anywhere simply because, similar with Mike Tomlin, both have 1 year left in their contracts. So what happened with Mike Tomlin, a lot of people don't know this because I turned on the radio this morning and the first thing everyone talked about was, do you want Mike Tomlin, Browns fans, blah, blah, blah. Mike Tomlin cannot just interview and cannot just take a job. You have to trade for Mike Tomlin because he is still under contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He resigned. He stepped down. He did not get fired. He did not quit. There's a huge difference legally, just from the verbiage of that. Same thing with LaFleur. LaFleur has 1 year left in his contract, so unless Green Bay fires him, nobody else can get him unless they trade for him. Even if they have him step down, he's under control from the Green Bay Packers. They will want draft pick compensation for him if you want him. Same with Tomlin. So there's also been some buzz that came out that said that Mike Tomlin's already said he's not interested in coaching this year. He's taking a year off, which makes sense. LaFleur is younger. LaFleur is like 46 years old, I think, or something like that. So he would probably want to continue coaching and won't want to take any time off if he leaves Green Bay. But the rumors that I saw is Green Bay is desperately trying to get him to sign an extension, so they don't want him gone. So we shall see how that ends up.
I did see the extension comment or the extension story. So, yeah,
I don't Green Bay's trying to keep him, and the rumors are that he's kind of against signing an extension. He wants to see how committed they are to him. Like, what are they going to do in the draft? What are they going to do in the offseason? How much money are they going to put into the team? Kind of things like that. And I mean, Green Bay's been a consistently good team for pretty much my entire life, and even before that. So I'm not too concerned if I'm LaFleur that Green Bay's all of a sudden going to up and go, nah, we don't really do that around here. They're a pretty consistent football team. So I don't know what he's really holding out for. If he wants to go somewhere else, good luck. But Green Bay's a pretty good situation, in my opinion. And he'll have, Micah Parsons back next year, assuming he's fully healthy. You still have Jordan Love. You still got Christian Watson. You could keep Romeo Doubs. They have a pretty good team over there. So I don't know. Ball is in LaFleur's court.
Yeah. No, I'm curious. I think he's good. I think the coaches that are fired are the ones that are fired now, and the only one that I think still hanging around that I think might be fired is the Bills coach. He's the only one I think that even if he loses in the second round, that there's a potential they move on from him. I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Sean McDermott is. I think they go to. I don't remember what the schedule is, to be honest. I'd have to look at it. I honestly don't remember. I think it's Niners go to Seattle. Rams go to Chicago. I guess I could just look at it right there. Yeah, the Bills go to Denver, and the Texans go to New England. Yeah, it's lowest seed. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think Sean McDermott could absolutely get fired if they lose on Sunday. Not that, I feel bad for the Bills. The Bills are fucking beat up. I don't know if you saw, but, one of their wide receivers, Terrell Schaefer, he tore his ACL in the middle of the game.
Played
the entire second half with a torn ACL. Caught it. I don't know if he got a touchdown, but he had a huge play over Greg Newsome. He literally burnt Greg Newsome with a torn ACL, and then found out the next day he has a torn ACL. Now he's out for the year. So
that's a great thing to be great Greg Newsome, right? You get burnt by somebody with a torn ACL.
With one leg, basically. That's not a good. Hey, thank you, Andrew Berry. That was a really good trade. I said it at the time, but so yeah, there's your update. I'm not going to get too much into the, I guess I'll say, politics of Steelers request an interview with Matt Canada. Is that real? Are you serious, George?
Yes, I am.
No way.
Yes, sir. Yes. Unfortunately, my buddy Mike just sent it over to me.
I thought they hated him.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, as a Browns fan, I hope. That's weird if they're going to go after a dude just because he was there before, but they fired him for being a horrible offensive coordinator. But
yep.
I digress. But yeah, so I'm not going to get into the politics of the interviewing process. And I mean, there are so many coaches getting interviewed in different moving parts. I mean, we could go through the list for the Browns, but it's a long list, and they don't really tell you any insider information. As of right now, Vegas, for whatever reason, has Mike McDaniel, former Dolphin head coach, as the front runner to be the Browns head coach. But again, it's just a Vegas betting thing. I don't know if they don't have any inside information on it. But
Vegas always has inside information. Why do you think? Man?
Well, only because I only say that because 2 days ago it was Jim Schwartz was the favorite, or I forgot who. The list is it changes every day. one day it's this guy's a favorite, next day this guy's a favorite. So it hasn't been consistent
to
yet.
lose Schwartz to another team, right? As a head coach, he is interviewing. He's being asked to be interviewed, at least I think. I don't know.
Yes, technically.
Go ahead.
He's only allowed to leave if he gets a promotion. So if a team hires him to be their defensive coordinator and they apply the assistant head coach tag, that would be a promotion. Or if he goes to be a head coach. Other than that, he's kind of stuck here in Cleveland without them firing him. Yeah. And he is only being requested to be interviewed by the Baltimore Ravens. Do I think he gets the head coaching job in Baltimore? No, I don't. So I'm not too concerned about losing Jim Schwartz. But I mean, the Browns have interviewed. We talked about it last week. Aiden Durd from Seattle. They've interviewed Mike McDaniel. They called John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh apparently did a little bit of a phone interview with most teams to kind of go over their situation, and the Browns are not on his short list of teams he's interested in. So they called.
McDaniel would make sense if we kept Schwartz, OC and DC minded people, right?
Yeah,
that's the only reason I would think that the Browns are interested in someone like that.
Yeah, Aiden Durd is the defensive coordinator in Seattle, so he doesn't make sense to be the head coach because I think they are, like you said, I think they are going offense. You have a former head coach, veteran coach, in Jim Schwartz, so your defense is good. If you get an offensive-minded guy to strictly focus on the offense, you're good. And that's kind of what I told my buddies. I was like, any defensive coordinator or defensive coach that they interview, I'm not really buying stock in it. Like, they did request an interview with Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers. But again, I don't think they're going defense. So Mike McDaniel makes sense. Dan Pitcher from the Bengals.
Would you be happy with McDaniel?
Yes and no. There's really not a head coach right now that's going to blow me away simply because of our current situation. We don't have a quarterback. And at the end of the day, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago before the playoffs started. All but Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, every quarterback in the playoffs was a first-round pick. And 90% of those first-round quarterbacks were like top 10 picks. So to me, that's the common denominator. I've always said it. I will never stop saying it. The NFL is a quarterback-driven league. If you don't have a really good quarterback, you're pretty fucked. And that's just the bottom line, and people don't want to hear it because I was arguing with a guy today. I was chatting with people about the Browns, and this guy's like, ooh, the Browns are good with Shedeur. Look at Tom Brady and Dak Prescott. I'm like, all right, so you're naming two anomalies out of the hundreds of players that have been drafted on day 2 and 3 in the NFL over the last couple decades. You've named two people that were successful, and you're banking on that for Sanders. It's just the stupidest fucking argument people can come up with, but I digress. You need a first-round quarterback, and the Browns just really, this year, there isn't one. I'm sure everybody saw the news. Dante Moore has decided to go back to Oregon officially, so he is not even in this draft anymore. So it is literally Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson and the field. And I don't even like Ty Simpson, so it's Fernando Mendoza and garbage. There's not one quarterback in this class that I like that I think is a franchise quarterback aside from Fernando Mendoza. So obviously the Browns have no shot at him. He will go number 1 to the Raiders. But, I mean, there's just no hope right now for the Browns to do anything. Like, there are legitimate people that I follow and trust that are piecing together what the Browns could do this offseason. And one of the things they're suggesting, which makes me want to go play in my creek, is Geno Smith.
Oh, God.
I swear to God, people have suggested that he makes a lot of sense for the Browns because he's shown that he can be good, which he has. I'll give him that. And he's going to he's going to get out of Las Vegas because they're drafting Mendoza, and Mendoza is going to be playing from day 1. And Geno Smith has a pretty hefty contract, so the story says they think the Browns could probably get him for like a 3rd-round pick, but the Raiders would throw in like a 3rd-round pick or a 2nd-round pick or something like that. Like, you could offer them like a 4th-round pick, and they'll give you Geno in a 3rd or Geno in a 2nd because they want you to take his contract. So that's really the only. It does not excite me at all. It makes me want to fucking honestly jump out my window right now. But those are some of the situations where
is if you go in the offseason and you go after. And let's just throw the example. You go after somebody like a Mike McDaniel who can be offensively creative, right? And work with, you run Shedeur back again another season and see what happens, right? And then you take the draft and you build up all the other missing pieces that we need to. And just hope that McDaniel can work with Sanders, and get him the plays or work an offense around his talents and see what happens. That's the only thing I could think of that would make sense right now. And I'm not even 100% a fan of that. I'm not a big McDaniel fan, but he clearly has something, right, that he's probably well liked and probably has a lot of potential to be hired by other teams. But that's the only thing I can think of that would make sense to me right now. No one else right now in the coaching open job market makes sense at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's that young kid from Jacksonville that literally just turned 30 years old who was the offensive coordinator, did not call plays, though. He's up there now as he's the second favorite to be the Browns head coach behind McDaniel. So where there's smoke, there's fire. They're definitely going offense, like we said. And to your point, which is my biggest fear, is that we do hire a coach and we try to force them to work with Sanders. And that really scares me as a Browns fan, truthfully. Nothing against Shedeur Sanders. I just think he stinks. I think that going into a season trying to force him to be your franchise quarterback, I think is a horrible decision. And I do think he's a bad quarterback, but obviously he went 3-4 in his final 7 games. Did the offense average like 10 points a game and the defense won both games at the end there? Yeah. But, we can ignore that part. My biggest fear is that they do something like that. And then, maybe next year we win 6 games, 7 games. Not enough to make the playoffs, not enough to get anybody fired, but also not good enough or bad enough to get yourself a quarterback. So you're just kind of stuck in this purgatory of mediocrity, essentially like a worse position than the Steelers. I mean, that's the thing with Tomlin. The Steelers have needed a quarterback since Big Ben retired. Have they had a chance to do that? No, because they win, because they stay around 500 or better. They go to the playoffs. You're not getting a franchise quarterback there. You have to be really lucky, and they haven't had an opportunity to do it. And I'm worried that the Browns are going to kind of fall into that situation where we're just going to be kind of fucked and we're not going to be able to get a quarterback. And I personally, I know it's not his fault at all. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on the kid, but I am beyond sick of Shedeur Sanders fans and people that just blindly love him and like neglect the facts that are out there of his gameplay. I talked to a guy today and I was like, or my buddy, we were talking about Quinn Ewers, and I was like, realistically, Quinn Ewers was better than Shedeur Sanders. And even though it's a small sample size, in the 3 games that Ewers played, he was better than Sanders. And they're like, no, he wasn't. I'm like, no, he really was. He had like a 10% higher completion percentage. He had a better touchdown interception ratio, better yards per game. Like he did things much better. And they're like, no, Sanders is better. And that's where it's kind of like, all right, like you can't even talk facts with these people anymore. They're just blind. And it's crazy to me. And it's irritating as a Browns fan. I want the Browns to focus on the Browns.
Also played in an offense of Mike McDaniel too. So maybe there's something there where he works well with younger talent.
Which, hey, I'll trade Miami Shedeur Sanders for Quinn Ewers. Let's do that today. I'm happy for that. If that's what we have to do. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of worried that we're just gonna be mediocre, and then we're stuck with everybody, and we have you need a path for a franchise quarterback, and next year it's going to be tough because the Jets have 3 first-round picks in the 2027 draft, where as of right now, I know we say this every year, but as of right now today, in January 2026, the 2027 draft is a quarterback-heavy class. Again, things can change. This year was supposed to be QB-heavy, but all these guys fell off the face of the earth. Garrett Nussmeier was supposed to be good, Cade Klubnik, John Mateer, Drew Aller. You had all these guys who everyone's like, holy shit, these guys are going to be so fucking good next year. And they all sucked. So it's literally Mendoza and garbage in this year's draft. So next year, though, as of right now, could be a good draft. Could be the Arch Manning Bowl. But I don't know. I'm just, I don't know. I'm not too thrilled about the Browns right now. I just think we're kind of stuck in a state of mediocrity and we're stuck with these average quarterbacks. And I don't know. I'm just, my fandom is way down, albeit the season just ended, so things could change as time progresses. But as of right now, I'm very down on the Browns, and I don't see that changing. There's really not much they could do this offseason that's going to change my mind on that. So we'll see.
So we deal with what we get dealt, and we see what happens. Right? That's the best we can do. Like any other Brown season we've had. Right? Is just
for me. I'd like to let's see. Was Stefanski the problem with Deshaun Watson? Give Mike McDaniel Deshaun Watson. Mike McDaniel turned Tua Tagovailoa into the offensive passing leader of the NFL just a few years ago. I think he had the most passing yards in the NFL. Mike McDaniel's rookie season as head coach in Miami, and Tua is not a good quarterback. I think we can all agree to that. And he turned Tua into one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that season. So if he could get that out of Tua, who I didn't like coming out of Alabama. I didn't like him in the draft. If he can work with Deshaun Watson, maybe Watson gets back to his old self and the Browns are actually in good shape. There is where you can go after offensive linemen, get your wide receivers, and you could go with Deshaun because they're going to restructure Deshaun's contract, which means they could bring him back in 2027 if he plays well in 2026. I know fans aren't going to want to hear that. I know that's a pipe dream, but it's possible. So if we hire an offensive guru, a quarterback guru coach like Mike McDaniel could be, I want him day one. Deshaun Watson is your guy. Go. Don't fuck around with Gabriel. Don't fuck around with Sanders. Don't waste snaps. Don't waste practices. It's Deshaun Watson. Get him back to form. And if he can't, we get our quarterback in 27. We cut Deshaun Watson, and everything else is water under the bridge. I'd be okay with that plan. But if they do go into the season with Shedeur Sanders as their guy, that's going to be fucking very irritating for me.
We shall see. It's going to be a long off season.
It's going to be a very long off season. I'm already exhausted from it. Ugh. But yeah, teams are interviewing left and right. Nobody's hired a new head coach yet. I was looking today. This guy has his Vegas odds up, and he's a big he's an odds maker for Vegas, and he was showing his odds. He had Mike McDaniel number 1 for the Browns. He has Harbaugh going to the Giants. He has Vance Joseph taking the Cardinals job. He's got Brian Flores taking the Raiders job. He's got I forgot the other guys. He had everybody else linked up there too. I don't remember what they all were though. But
where's he have Stefanski going?
He had Stefanski not getting any of the head coaching positions. He had him coming in like second or third in some of them. So I think he was like second in Atlanta. He was third in New York. He was like fourth or fifth in Baltimore. So he's had him close. But I think that's good for Stefanski. If I'm being dead honest, I think Stefanski takes the offensive coordinator position with the Eagles. He has a familiarity with the coaching staff. He has ties to the city. He's from Philadelphia, so I think that's his dream job to go there, and I would support him for doing that. That totally makes sense if I'm Kevin Stefanski. I would rather go be the OC at Philly than a head coach of like fucking Tennessee or something like that. That's just me.
Interesting.
So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, again, this guy's just throwing out odds, but as I've said, they change every day. Like 2 days ago, I still can't remember, but there was a different leader for the Browns. Like I think Harbaugh was actually like a favorite a couple days ago, and now it's McDaniel. So it changes every day. I don't know what like the market's going up and down, but we'll see. Nobody's been hired yet. Obviously, every day they're just doing interviews. Nothing comes out. You just have to wait and see till somebody actually makes an announcement. The one rumor I wanted to talk about was the wild card that is Nick Saban for Browns head coach. The only reason I say that is because there are some crazy fans out there who do the plane tracker. So there is a guy who follows Jimmy Haslam's planes. Jimmy Haslam owns multiple planes, flies all over the place in multiple cities in one day. In fact, he caught Jimmy Haslam going to, I think, where did he start off? He went down there first. He went down to Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee. Fuck, now I can't remember off the top of my head. He went down somewhere where Jimmy Sexton is a sports agent. Jimmy Sexton is the agent of Nick Saban. He flew down to the same area that Jimmy Sexton works, where his office is. So people were going, oh shit, he's meeting with Jimmy Sexton. Then he went from there to, I think, Colorado Springs in Colorado to go see the one and only Peyton Manning. And then after that, the next day, he flew down to Jacksonville or somewhere in Florida where Nick Saban happens to reside or something. There was an office down there that he works out of or something like that. I didn't read the whole article, but there was a guy who was literally piecing together that it could be very possible the Browns are talking to Nick Saban. Maybe they're just getting his opinion because I don't know if they're friends with the Haslams or something like that, but there are people that are really connecting some dots. So there's people that think it could be Nick Saban.
Saban's been here before. It's not like
a wild card candidate.
It wouldn't be his first rodeo in Cleveland. So
no, and it wouldn't be his first time taking an NFL job and failing miserably. So that would be perfect also. So we'll see.
Was McDaniel underneath the Saban tree or no?
No. McDaniel was under the Shanahan tree. He was with in Cleveland and all them back when we had Shanahan as the offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel was here as the QB coach.
Okay. Interesting. So many ties to Cleveland, man.
I think McDaniel was on the Atlanta staff when they went to the Super Bowl. He was with Cleveland before that, where they obviously blew the lead, the 28-3 lead. Then he obviously went to I think he was with San Francisco for a little bit with Shanahan, and then he took the head coaching job in Miami. So,
okay.
Yeah, he's had a good run. He's a really smart coach, young dude. He's like 43. So we'll see. He's currently the front runner for what it's worth. It's Mike McDaniel for the Cleveland Browns. We shall see. Maybe this time next week we'll actually have some head coaches with some jobs so we can actually talk about some shit. As I said, we're doing a relatively quick episode. We're already at the 45-minute mark, so one thing I wanted to kind of talk about really quick. What the fuck is going on with the Cavs? They are so inconsistent. I wanted to come on here and talk so much shit about them because they sucked. They're playing the fucking Sixers today, and I was ready to come on here and roast them. I personally would have picked the Sixers to win. Oh, they're blowing the lead a little bit. Okay. Cavs haven't had a pretty good lead in the first quarter when I was checking the score, and now I just looked again, and they're only up by 9. Oh, no, shit. Oh, yeah, 9. So it's getting close. We play the Sixers in a weird, like, Major League Baseball schedule. I think we play them back-to-back, so we'll see what happens. But the real test for the Cavaliers is going to be Monday. They take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I think the Thunder are going to whip our ass. But that's just me. The Cavs, though, I don't know what to make of them. I kind of said it after last season when they lost. I was disappointed, and I was like, this is just who they are. Like, you're not changing that in the offseason. You're not making Jared Allen and Evan Mobley tougher. You're not turning them into these thugs that swing elbows. That's just not who they are. This is just the team we have. I am disappointed in a lot of people. Lonzo Ball comes to mind. He's the guy that they can't even put on the floor anymore. He's so bad he doesn't even get minutes.
It's such a liability for him.
I really liked that trade at first. I was like, okay, we lost Okoro for another guy who plays really good defense, but who can also shoot. And Lonzo Ball's been the worst offensive player on our team, and I miss Isaac Okoro, truthfully. So we had that going for us, which is not good and kind of embarrassing. Obviously, the Cavs have been decimated with injuries. We didn't have Garland for the first month or so of the season, and then he came back and had to miss another couple of weeks. We obviously don't have Max Strus back still. He won't be back for some time. We lost Mobley for a week or so. We lost Jared Allen for a while with a finger injury. Sam Merrill's been hurt this season. Dean Wade has been hurt recently. They've had everybody and their fucking brother basically has been on the IR or been injured for a little bit. Donovan Mitchell was sick and missed a bunch of games. I think he had an injury earlier in the season. So not to make excuses, but
I think this is what the Cavs are right now.
And yeah, that's kind of how I look at
it. They're gonna float around that 3 to 5 spot right now in the East, unless they go on a streak, and then they'll get hot towards the last week or last month or so of the season, and potentially come in number 2 or whatever, maybe number 3, and then go from there, and we'll get knocked out in the second round. That's just what's going to happen this year, like always.
And that's the one thing that I look at where I'm like, I'm not that worried, because when you look at the whole East, aside from the fucking Pistons, who are they're the best team in the East is wide open. From the 2 seed to like the 8 seed, you're only a couple games out. So anybody, if the Celtics go on a 2-game losing streak, you go on a 2-game winning streak, you're right up there into the fucking top 5. Whereas right now, I think the Cavs are technically a play-in team. So a lot can change, things can change, but the Cavs right now, as you said, like that's just who they are. I think. I don't know. They got their asses kicked the other night by the Utah Jazz. They got out rebounded like 50-30, which is embarrassing because the Jazz lost by 55 points on Saturday. They played.
That pissed me off because I had some parlays going, and I look at that. I'm like, what is going on? Is this a real score right now? That's insane.
Yeah, they lost by 55 on Saturday. Then they come to Cleveland on Monday night, and they beat the Cavaliers. They're one of the worst teams in basketball. The Cavs went down in the first quarter, I think 21-4 to start the game. That's how they started it against the Jazz. They were losing that badly. Then they came back, took a lead. They go into halftime. They've got like a 10-point lead. I was like, oh, shit, here we go. Cavs figured it out. And then we were watching a show or something. I was watching the football game, and I checked the score again really quick, and I'm like, the Jazz are fucking winning again. What is happening? And then all of a sudden the Jazz went on a run, and there was only like 3 minutes left in the game. The Cavs were down by like 10, and I was like, there's no fucking way. They're not coming back from that. And I turned it off. And sure enough, they lost. But just embarrassing. They're Jekyll and Hyde. And then right now they're playing the Sixers, who are 22-16. They're a pretty good team. Cavs are 22-19, so they're kind of neck and neck. But the Sixers, all things considered, have a good roster, and they're up by 9. So I don't fucking get it. I don't know, but they're so inconsistent that a 9-point lead is
things we have to get used to. Like I expect nothing out of the Cavs middle part of the season at all. I really don't.
Well, I got so used to last year they would go on their Cavalanche runs, which were fun.
Yeah.
So the Cavs would kind of fuck around for the first half, go into halftime, maybe losing by like 10 or whatever. They didn't really care. Third quarter, boom. At the end of the third quarter, Cavs are up by 20 points. And you're like, okay, this is the Cavs I know and love. Now it's the opposite. Now the Cavs go on a roll into halftime, and you're like, hell yeah, they figured it out. Then the third quarter starts, they get outscored by like 25 points. And then it's the whole fourth quarter trying to dig out. And it's been consistent. That's just who they are all season. And it's very frustrating as a fan. You know, as a fan of the team, you want them to succeed. You want them to be an actual championship contender. And they're just not playing like it. And again, when they got eliminated last year, I kind of lost all my faith in this team being a legit contender. And I said, you know, there's nothing they can do. They're fucked because of the apron rules. Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year. Steelers blogger gave the fake news. Had a feeling that wasn't real, George. That's why immediately I was like, that's George got hooked. He fell for it. But I went into the season knowing because of the second apron, I'm like, the Cavs are fucked. Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year, so his pay increased. He had to get a Supermax contract because of that. They traded for DeAndre Hunter last year, who was good at the time, but he has been garbage this year. There's rumors coming out that he's unhappy and wants traded. He has debunked those rumors for what it's worth. But, I mean, I don't think he's going to come out and say, yeah, I said I want traded. Fuck this team. He said, no, I love it here. I'm so happy here. I don't know what to believe. But the Cavs are limited with what they can do. They can't go out and make a bunch of trades to help the team. They're stuck. So this is just what you have. I don't expect them to make many changes, if at all, before the trade deadline. So this is who we are. Maybe they can get some guys with a buyout, but even then, easier said than done.
Aside from just the Cavs, what's up with all the blowouts this year in the NBA? There are so many blowouts that happen in the NBA. Like just some lopsidedness when it comes to some of these games. It's insane.
It's kind of always been like that. I mean, that's one thing with gambling with basketball that I learned years ago when gambling first came legal in Ohio. Everyone calls it the National Blowout Association because you'd pick like, okay, we want, you know, hypothetically, we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to score 30 points and to get 6 assists. And then he'll have 25 points, 4 assists, and they're up by 30 points in the fourth quarter, so they bench everybody. And then everyone's like, cool, my whole fucking slip is ruined because this guy's not going to play in the fourth quarter. And that's just the price you pay in the NBA. Other sports, they don't do that. Like baseball, you could bet on a guy to, you know, get a hit. And for the most part, even in a blowout, the guys are going to play the whole game, so you have a chance. Football, same thing. Football, it's rare that guys get pulled. Maybe a quarterback comes out, they put the backups in for like the last drive, but you've got a pretty good chance. The NBA, you could literally go a full fourth quarter where the starters don't even touch the court because they're like, no, this game's done. So
it sucks. It does.
No, it's a dangerous game. That's the NBA for you. But again, that's why the National Blowout Association happens all the time. So yeah, we'll see if the Cavs can right the ship and if they can get everything back to normal, and if they can at least look like a respectable basketball team, because right now they don't. And that's the sad part too, is they've had so many games where they actually are very competitive. I mean, they played the Pistons a few weeks ago. Again, as I said, the Pistons are the best team in basketball, and they played them really well up until the end. Then they blew it in the fourth quarter. I remember when I was in Disney, I was watching the Cavs. They played the Boston Celtics. Same thing. The Cavs played them really well. Fourth quarter, they fucking blew it. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this team? So very frustrating as a fan, but, you know, we're Cleveland fans, so you got to be tough. All right, let's get to our fucking playoff picks for this weekend. Hopefully George was able to check all that out. If not, I'll do it after the show. Not a big deal, NBD. But let's get into it. So hopefully George is back.
Wow, really?
From taking the dog out, as he calls it, when he's got to take a little leak.
Really?
But I call mine as a dog
damn.
too. Mini dog.
You asked something of me, and you think I wouldn't turn around and get it together.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. All right, George, rip them off. Give me all my picks in order. I'll write them down, and we'll go column by column. I have JG, Kyle, George.
That's wow. Hey, are you sure you ain't looking at the pad? Because that's exactly how I put it down too.
That's how I've been writing it out all year, so it's kind of easy for me to go that way. So I know I had the Rams and the Packers for sure for Saturdays.
Yeah, you had Rams, Packers, Bills, 49ers, Patriots, Texans.
Oh shit! So I really was. I went 5-1. Hell yeah, I'll take that all day.
What did I go?
Kyle, you had Rams, Bears, Bills, Eagles, Pats, Texans.
Hang on, read it a little slower, Bill or George. So we had Bills,
Rams, Bears, Bills,
Rams, Bears, Bills. Okay, Chicago,
Eagles.
Buff,
Patriots, Texans.
Philly, Patriots. Okay,
I went 5-1 as well.
not bad.
I had Rams, Bears, Jags, Eagles, Patriots, Texans.
4-2.
On 2.
Okay. All right, cool. So not a bad week for everybody. We all went well. George, obviously, you went 4-2, 5-1 for Kyle and I, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. So let's do that. I had San Fran, New England, and Houston. So we are good. 5-1, 5-1, 4 and deuce. All right. With that being said, let's get into our picks this Saturday. I think it's Saturday. Yeah, the 17th. Saturday the 17th. Broncos at the Bills. Broncos only a 1.5 point favorite, which is kind of surprising. Say again?
I don't know why ESPN did that. It's Bills are at the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe no, it's a seeding thing. They have the higher seeds on top. Same thing with the one at the bottom.
Yeah.
Patriots too. So it's just the seeding.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm going Bills. I have to. I picked the Bills in the regular season to go to the Super Bowl to take on the Lions. The Lions obviously didn't even make the playoffs, but the Bills did. So I am sticking with my team of destiny. Fun fact for everybody out there about the Broncos. The Broncos are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They were the 1 seed for a reason. I'm not taking that away from them. But Bo Nix was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL through quarters 1 through 3. And in the fourth quarter, look at how many games the Broncos had to make a comeback because they were getting their asses kicked. With that being said, Buffalo, I didn't realize this until watching the game against the Jags on Sunday. Buffalo has the number 1 passing defense in the NFL by a mile. They only gave up about 150 yards a game passing all season. They have a fucking good passing defense. So if they can shut down Bo Nix, Josh Allen can play Superman, take over the game, get James Cook rolling, and I think Buffalo could sneak away with the W because, again, they're my team of destiny, so I have to pick them. So I am going Buffalo. Go Bills.
Interesting. I got to run Denver here. I really do. I hate picking Denver, but I gotta think. I just think Denver takes this one. I really do.
Agreed. Broncos. Josh Allen has nobody to throw to. It's just going to
never stop to throw to himself if he has to.
Yeah, it's just him and Cook, and it's like, well, good luck. You got to go against everybody else. So yeah.
I think it's going to be this weekend's going to be another good weekend of football, though. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I'm really excited for it.
Even though this game is technically on Sunday afternoon, we will do it next just because we'll stick with the AFC side of the bracket here. So we'll go Patriots and Texans. I'll let Kyle go first. Kyle, pick your
It's
poison.
a tough one, man. I hate to pick against the Patriots because I did pick the Patriots a lot this year in picks when I did pick. But I think that Texans defense is on a fucking roll right now. Give me the Texans in this one. I think CJ gets his offensive blunders under control here.
Georgie boy.
Ditto. Texans. This is going to be a very defensive game. Don't look for any high scoring here, boys and girls.
We have a clean sweep of Houston because, hey, defense wins championships. Am I right? And Houston has the best defense by a fucking mile. I mean, they were shutting guys down on Monday night. Little fun fact for people out there going back into the regular season, the Houston Texans, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're on a 10-game winning streak right now. They are hot. A lot of people kind of didn't really pay attention to them at the end of the season because Jacksonville won the division, but Houston is one of the hottest teams in football, and as I said to start this, defense wins championships, and they have the best defense by far. So give me the Texans. Now we move over to the NFC, and we start with the Seattle Seahawks hosting the San Francisco 49ers, and how fitting George is up first to make the pick, to probably pick against his Niners again, because I joked with him the other day and I said, George, there's a good chance the Niners are going to call you because they're so desperate for healthy bodies because they have their injury list looks like a CVS receipt. It is bad. So, George, with that said, give us your pick, buddy.
I was going to say, I do get 2 guys back on defense this week. If the miracle happens and they move on to next week, we also get Fred Warner back too. So
they opened up Fred Warner's practice window this week, but they already said he's not going to be able to play on Saturday.
Yeah,
so
he won't make Saturday. I'm super spooked by which Sam Darnold. It's like I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall on Sam Darnold. It's like, is he going to choke like he did for Minnesota? And when's it going to happen? If that happens, then yeah, it goes into the 49ers' favor. If it doesn't, then yeah, the Seahawks have it all day. I'm shocked by the 7.5 point spread.
That's a lot. That is a lot. But
we saw that 10.5 last week with the Rams, and they just snuck in covering 3. So,
excuse me.
Bravo.
I'm drinking Polar Seltzer, so I have a new flavor I'm trying. It is ginger lime mule, and it's just seltzer water, but it's supposed to taste like a Moscow Mule. But these Polar Seltzers, I love them, but god damn, do they make me burp. Terry yells at me every time I drink them because I burp like a motherfucker, but what can you do?
Yeah, at the rate it's going at the moment, I'll go with the Seahawks.
Okay. I'm the wild card today. I'm taking a lot of the underdogs, and I love every second of it. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. Reason being, A, as George just mentioned, which Sam Darnold are we going to get? Sam Darnold was questionable when they played the Rams a few weeks ago. That Rams-Seahawks game, he threw multiple interceptions in the game, and the Rams kind of choked. The Rams should have won that game. Then you go back to the game, Week 18, the Seahawks and Niners played each other for the number 1 seed in the NFC. It was a low-scoring game. It was a very competitive game. The Niners obviously only scored, 3 points, George? I think was the final, 13-3 or something like that.
McCaffrey dropped the nice touchdown that would have definitely given him the tie at 10-10 at that time.
And some momentum that would have been helpful. So, yeah, he dropped it, and it turned into an interception. That's right. So it bounced off of him for an interception. So small mistakes like that I don't think the Niners make this weekend, and I think you have, in a battle of coaches, don't get me wrong, McDonald from the Seahawks is a good up-and-coming young head coach, but Kyle Shanahan has been to a Super Bowl. Has he been to 1 or 2?
He's been to a couple, because remember, he was with Atlanta when Atlanta went.
Well, I just meant as a head coach, George. We don't need his whole Wikipedia page. I just meant as a head coach of the Niners.
Yeah, he's been to 2 there.
I knew he's been to 1. I didn't remember how many he'd been to. Had he been to 2 or 1 with the Niners? Was it just the 1 with Jimmy G?
Just the 1.
Okay, couldn't remember.
That was Harbaugh. No. He's been to 2. That's right, Jimmy G, and then with Brock.
Are you a fan? Are you a fan of the Niners?
Listen, man, the meds are not balanced yet. Okay, I just took the cholesterol one 20 minutes ago.
Well, tell your doctor that they're affecting your memory apparently right off the rip. But yeah, so you have a head coach who's been to Super Bowls. He's been deep into the playoffs. Brock Purdy is a winner. Brock Purdy, his career in the playoffs, he's lost 2 games, and the 2 games that he's lost were because his shoulder got blown out against the Eagles his rookie season, and then when they went to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, he left the field with the lead. Obviously the Chiefs came down and won the game in overtime, but he's a winner. I mean, I'll give Brock Purdy all the credit in the world, and I think that veteran presence from everybody in the Niners organization and the head coach and everything is going to pay dividends, and that's why I'm going to, just a little fun. And my buddy Craig's a big Seahawks fan, and he actually flies out to Hong Kong on Friday, so he's going to miss the game, and I hope to God that they lose while he's walking around Disney Tokyo. So go Niners, fuck Seattle. I am going with San Francisco.
I think Seattle wins this one pretty easily. That defense eats up 49ers. Give me the Seahawks here.
I'm sticking with my gut here.
They don't have a chance.
Lone wolf, let's go. All right, and last but not least, Kyle.
Yeah, this one's a tough one, man. I mean, I really want. I kind of like rooting for. I hate Caleb Williams. I really do, with a passion. But I like the Bears team in general. Like, they're just fun to watch. But I think the Rams pull through. I think Matt Stafford. I think he's your MVP this year, if not like one top 2 MVP candidate. Was he at 45 touchdowns on the season? I think the Rams continue to push through. I think the Rams win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Kyle. I am going to go with the Rams. It gun to my head before the playoffs started. I said, give me the Rams against the Bills in the Super Bowl, and nothing's changing that. And like Kyle said, the veteran. You have the Rams have already won a Super Bowl. Sean McVay has been to 2 Super Bowls. They are a veteran team. I also kind of think that Ben Johnson kind of blew his load against the Packers. I don't know if you saw his post-game thing. So the game ends. He goes charging up to Matt LaFleur, shakes his hand all aggressively, goes into the locker room, starts yelling, "Fuck the Packers!" He's going crazy. I think he kind of lost the team with that. Like, I think they love it for that week, but I also feel like they kind of blew their load, and that's going to be one of those things where they come out on Sunday and the Rams are just going to be more prepared. The Rams are just like, fuck it, you want to rah your team and act like beating the Packers in a wild card round is like the biggest thing you've ever done, but there's it's deeper than that. I don't know. And yeah, I think Caleb Williams makes a lot of mistakes, and I think he takes some liberties in the pocket and tries to extend plays, and I think the Rams defensive line is not going to allow him to do that. I think obviously the Packers game would have been very different had Micah Parsons not been injured. And I think that the Rams do pull this off. I think they are the team to beat in the NFC, in my opinion. So I'm with Kyle. Give me the LA Rams. And George, you are last but not least.
The Bears. Matthew Stafford can't beat the Bears.
Bears.
He hasn't beaten the Bears in above 20-degree weather yet. It's supposed to be 6 degrees and shitty weather. So, yeah,
I'm not worried about it.
I'm interested to see if Puka can play in cold. Very interested.
Well, the funny thing about Puka Nacua is that if they play him man-to-man coverage, he is easier to cover. If they let him go free in zone, that's where he goes off. So it's really a testament to see what kind of defense the Bears put on him. Because if they put a guy on him like Jalen Johnson, if they put him on there to shadow, could be a difficult day for Puka Nacua. However, that's where Devontae Adams comes into play. That's where all the other guys on their offense, Cody Parkinson, they've got all these decent players and tight ends and running backs and everything on the Rams. And I trust Sean McVay's offensive mind to one up the rookie head coach in Ben Johnson. So I am taking the Rams. But I do, if the Bears win, I would not be surprised. As you can see, the score is relatively close, -3.5. So it's pretty damn close. But we'll see.
I think you get the old
Yeah, I don't like Caleb Williams either. I'm with Kyle. I don't like the Bears. I don't know. Fuck them. And I don't like Ben Johnson. Just seems like a fucking weirdo. I don't know. I just don't like him. Seems like a weird dude that like in 10 years, like there's going to be like a weird scandal that comes out against him with like weird internet searches and stuff like that. Not necessarily illegal, but weird. So, like he's into like watching women get like shrink wrapped or something, just fucking bananas. Something really out there. That's just pure speculation.
Listen, what you do on your own time on that computer.
This isn't me. I'm saying this is Ben Johnson. He does seem like a crazy enough person to like be into some weird shit. I only thought of it because I just watched a GIF from Dexter. It was a funny tweet that somebody tweeted about the Dante Moore not coming out in the draft, and it said, here's the Jets GM to Dante Moore in 2027 because he skipped the 2026 draft to avoid the Jets, and it's Dokes from Dexter, and it's just him going, surprise, motherfucker, and I just laughed my ass off thinking about Dexter. That was a very funny tweet, so that's why Plastic Wrap came to mind.
I love Dexter.
Oh, it's so good. But with that being said, those are our picks for round 2 of the NFL playoffs. And we are now going to get into just the tip. We're going to reverse orders a little bit because George fucked up. So let's get into it. There's our girl, Taylor. Her husband-to-be is unfortunately not in the playoffs, and that makes me sad because I like the Chiefs. But whatever. My pick is a movie that we watched on Christmas Eve, or New Year's Day, actually. Tara and I watched this one. Good Fortune, with Aziz Ansari, Keanu Reeves, and Seth Rogen. Basically, long story short, funny movie, also a little serious. Keanu Reeves plays a guardian angel. His job is essentially, it sucks. He's a low-budget angel. He's out there to just stop people from texting and driving. That's it. So he gets put on Aziz Ansari to like keep him from not texting and driving. But at the same time, because he's an angel, all angels look for that moment where they can like turn a person's life around because they hit rock bottom, to like stop them from, killing themselves, doing something crazy. And Aziz Ansari's life is shitty. He's living out of his car. He doesn't have any money. It's just a shitty situation. He's living out in Los Angeles trying to make it, and it's just not going well. Seth Rogen plays this billionaire and lives a great life. And Keanu Reeves decides that because he's an angel, he wants to let them switch lives and see and to show Aziz Ansari that money can't buy happiness. However, it backfires, and Aziz Ansari is happy as fuck and refuses to go back to his old life. So Seth Rogen is stuck in this fucking limbo of being Aziz Ansari's life, and Keanu Reeves can't do anything to fix it because Aziz Ansari has to be the one to decide to switch, or else they won't switch back. So he gets essentially fired from being an angel, and they're like, why would you intervene and do that? He's like, I thought it was my moment. I thought I could make him see the light, and all I did was I made him fall in love with money. And like it was a really funny movie. I love Seth Rogen. I like Keanu Reeves. I like Aziz Ansari, and it was a really good ensemble and a fun movie. If you get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend checking out Good Fortune.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah, I saw the trailer and it looked interesting. I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan.
It was good. It was really good.
Plus he plays that weird, like he's kind of funny, right? But he doesn't try to be funny, but he's just funny.
No, yeah, he's just naturally like a dry humor that like he's trying to be sincere, but it's just the way he does it. It makes you chuckle.
Did you see they're making a Constantine too?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that's been kind of a rumor for a while. So
they're getting some more fuel behind it now. So I'm pretty excited about that, though.
Yeah, I hope so. I would love it. Like you said, I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan. Anything from John Wick to fucking what's the other one? Bill and Ted, like all that shit.
All right, my tip of the week is a series that I watched or started to watch back in 2016 when it came out. I think it was 11/22/63 is the first time it came out, but it was on Hulu back then. It just re-released on Netflix recently, and I actually watched it from start to finish this time. The storyline's pretty simple. James Franco is a high school teacher, and he teaches adults at night, and he's friends with a guy who owns a cafe who just happens to have somehow a secret portal back to 1961 or 1961. And so the whole premise of the story is the person that he's friends with at the cafe is that he was trying to go back to prevent the assassination of JFK, because he says that by doing that, it's going to make life easier, life better. It makes everything better in the world, blah, blah, blah. But the trick is you have to live when you go back, it's that time and space in 1961. You have to live for the next 2 years, and you have to help prevent the assassination of JFK. You have to confirm that it was Oswald that did it alone, and if it is, then take him out, right? But there's so much that goes to it, right? Butterfly effect situations, touching and changing something back then, and basically it ruining the future. So it's a really good story. I think it's seven episodes, but it's really good. It's really in depth. It's a lot of craziness that happens, but yeah, I'm not a huge James Franco fan. Like it's hit or miss for him with me.
Not many are these days.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss with me, but I think he did a really good job in the show. So if you get a chance, watch it. It's on Netflix. Really good show.
Yeah, I didn't know that they made it. I didn't know they made it a show, so I had no idea this came out on Hulu years ago. When you posted it for your tip today, I thought it was new, and I looked it up on IMDb really quick because I thought that title sounds really familiar, and then I realized I own the book. Yeah, Guardian Guy Greg gave me this book years ago. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my shelf there. So I was like, that sounds really familiar. So I looked it up, and I'm like, oh shit, they made it into a show. That's really cool. Yeah. And then the first thing I said was,
it's really good. So I recommend watching it if you get a chance. It's in depth. Each episode is like an hour long, but there's no boring points to it. It's pretty interesting.
I just thought it was funny when I looked it up on IMDb. It said James Franco, and I was like, oh shit, is he making a comeback? I didn't know that the show was made in 2016, so that made a lot more sense, because I was like, how did I not hear about James Franco getting Hollywood work ever again? But now I understand why.
Yeah, I saw it just literally yesterday, and I told Kelly, I said, well, this is right up my alley, because I love this stuff with JFK. And I was just like, yes. And
yeah, and you can't go wrong with Stephen King.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, Stephen King wrote the book." I'm going, "Oh, now I got to get a book." But
yeah, hopefully Pennywise makes an appearance.
I'm super excited to watch that.
Yeah, no, I'm going to check it out for sure. I like I said, I didn't even know they made it into a series. So nice little pleasant surprise. About 10 years too late, but I'll happily watch it because I didn't even read the book yet. So I don't know what it's about. I mean, I know what it's about, but I don't know how it ends or anything. So, all right, everybody. That's going to do it for us. As I said, we're doing a quicker show. I feel good still, which is a good sign. No need to push it. We'll talk again next week. Hopefully the Browns have a new coach. Hopefully some other teams have some coaches. Hopefully the Cavs beat the Thunder. Maybe they find their winning ways. And we'll recap the playoffs. We'll do our picks next week. We'll talk about all that fun shit. And we'll talk to you then. A week from today. same time, same channel. Thank you to George for doing everything for us per usual. Kyle, thanks for joining us on your have a good time on your road trip there in Indiana, and be safe getting back. Yeah. When do you come back?
I come back Friday afternoon, and I go back out. So next week I'm down in Cincy and Florence, and then I don't travel the week afterwards. So it's
okay. Not too bad.
I'm on the road again a little bit now. So
we obviously have the winter weather advisory until tomorrow night, so you're good if you're not coming back till Friday.
No, not coming back till Friday. Good. That's why I told Jess. I'm like, good thing I missed this storm.
You missed the thing. You're in another state, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's awesome. But yeah, safe travels. We'll talk to everybody next week. And thank you everybody for watching. Cleveland, that was for you.
Later.